Hey, I'm Corinne and I'm the founder of Speckled, the tool that helps PMs build the right thing at the right time. Today we're going to be talking about how do you write user stories. We're going to be discussing what user stories are, what makes a good one, what makes a bad one, and how to get better at the 3 parts of your user stories. As you may know, a user story is a super brief story that describes a product's feature from the user's perspective. It usually follows the format of, as a user, I want a certain functionality so that I can have some kind of benefit. We want to talk about what makes a good user story, so let's first chat about what makes a bad user story. So, bad user stories are generic. They usually lack a clear why. They don't explain the functionality clearly, and they may even fail to say who the story is for. Therefore, we can deduce that good user stories are crisp and useful. They explain the functionality effectively, and they clearly define who the story is for. Writing good user stories will help you prevent a lot of back and forth between you and the engineering team. So you'll save not only time and money, but a bit of your own sanity as well. Another thing that user stories allows you to do is ensure that your product is more thought out before you start building it. Okay, so let's jump into it. Let's cover each of the 3 sections of your user stories. So, section 1, as a user. Who is this user? Is it an external user? Is it an internal user, someone maybe within your company who's using this product? Do you have multiple permission levels for your users? Say, a billing admin, a member, a restricted user. These kinds of users may have different user stories from one another. Another thing is that if your engineers do understand personas, you can also include them, but only if you think they're going to be useful for them. Okay, so that's the user part. So as a user, the next part is I should be able to have this certain functionality. Here we want to explain what it is that we want the user to be able to do. We don't want to get too detailed, nor do we want to dictate how we want this thing built. That's up to the engineering manager. Now, if you are the engineering manager, feel free to, figure out which technology or design patterns you're going to need. But in the meantime, leave the how to the engineering team. Another thing is you don't want to write this story and the functionality in isolation. Say you're going through all of your customer research and it turns out maybe your customers are looking for a way to be recommended some other useful products that they may want. Cool. All right. Before you write a user story, you may want to check with your engineering team to make sure that you have the expertise on your team to be able to build such a feature. I mean, maybe you guys don't have a AI or a machine learning engineer on your team, and that would be something that you would need to have before you can build this specific functionality. Okay, so we did as a user, I should be able to have this functionality. The next part is so that I can have this benefit. Here we want to talk about what the user will be able to accomplish with this feature that they wouldn't have been able to accomplish before. As an example, as an admin member, I should be able to add and remove members from my workspace so that I can make sure that my team has access to the product when they need it. That clearly describes why they need it. It may not be some groundbreaking visionary why of I want to save the world, but it definitely describes why they need that feature at that particular moment. So make sure you definitely include the why. Don't leave it off because you think it's not important or the engineers won't care. Often engineers do care about why they're building the thing that they're building. So to wrap it up, we discussed what user stories are, what makes a good user story, what makes a bad user story, and the 3 parts and how to get better at writing each of them. If you like this content, be sure to subscribe to our newsletter at getspeckled.com/blog. Drop your email there, and every Sunday we send out a newsletter with the top stories of the week for product managers at small software companies. And in the meantime, happy user story writing.